Hello and welcome to another Driven Catalyst live stream. It is Web Design Wednesday, the day that I take on web design and user interface. And today we are doing Yes and UI, which is my favorite segment. I am a recovering theater kid, if you can't tell. I love improv probably more than anything in life. I think it is actually so healthy and good. I'm like in the cult of improv, I fear, specifically long form improv. And I use the tenets of improv to generate new app ideas, and then I begin working on a user interface design. What does that mean? I get 7 randomly generated words, and I go through a word association sort of process to try and stitch together the words to come up with some sort of app idea that encapsulates them to my best ability. Try to keep things moving, try to keep things entertaining. From there, I start wireframing what the user interface might be, talking through the process of what some of the important pages and design components of an app like that might take, from a very quick and dirty approach to it, I guess. So without further ado, I am going to get those 7 randomly generated words. This, if you're curious, builds off of a long form improv format called the Herald. Not quite. If you know what the Herald is and you're watching this, you're probably thinking, well, this is a novel idea, but not quite. Improv is at its heart, I think, a very collaborative thing, but more than anything, it is about rolling with the punches, and it is a fast-paced, high-intensity thing that is built upon a growth mindset, I think. And so that is at the heart of Yes and UI. That's what we're doing here today. And the best way to show you is to just do it. So without further ado, I'm going to screen share as I get my 7 randomly generated words. As I pull it up, there's going to be 7 words on the screen. Those are just the regular schmegular words that the website gives me right off the bat. There's also going to be some ads on the page, so it is important I tell you this is not a sponsored show. But hey, Verbo, if you'd like to sponsor us, we won't say no. I'm going to generate 7 new ones so that you are with me for the entirety of me getting these variables, I guess, and going through the process. So these are my words. I'm a little bit worried I'm sharing this ad audio. I haven't even read them yet, but I'm going to move back to my main screen while I get everything set up in Adobe XD. That is going to be the primary means of wireframing user interface today. I am, and I've talked about this on last week's, we are moving towards Figma, and I'm still learning Figma, but because this is such a fast-paced sort of exercise more than anything, I'm going to keep working out of Adobe XD right now. From the time I've spent using Figma, I would say they're pretty similar. So if you know both, you're probably not missing either. Or if you don't know both, I don't know. I'm going to screen share now with Adobe XD, and then we will begin the word association process. I'm going to start talking through what I'm thinking, and we will get this show on the road. I also, because I love to speak in disclaimers, I'm going to say it, y'all. I'm sure my cadence that I've been speaking in for the beginning of this whole live stream has been irritating. I'm going to see if I can get out of this cadence. I feel like I'm like not on, because I feel like it alludes to something being good and there being a level of showmanship. I feel like my cadence is probably making me seem unreal right now. Okay, let's go back to Adobe XD. Here we are. I'm going to start word association, if you will. Let me move around my window too, because I feel like in the screen share, we're not taking up the amount of screen that we could be. How's that? Pretty dang good. All right. So we've got occasion, shave, charge, faithful, size, manual, and volume. I'm going to start stair-stepping my way down these words. So first and foremost, occasion and shave. I think about shaving for a special occasion, like going through the grooming ritual. I'm also thinking about maybe shaving off extra time or shaving off extra expenses, whether you're saving money or you need to save time for a special occasion. I was booking it downtown for an event last night, and every little minute counted. And so I guess I'm thinking in that vein, like trying to shave time off your destination, your ETA, which I don't recommend. Hey, I just realized I'm on the internet talking to people I don't know. Drive so safely, always, in every circumstance. Drive defensively, keep everyone on the road safe. Shave and charge. Oh, hey, I didn't even read charge, but there we are with shaving off expenses. Faithful. Okay, right now, shave, charge, and faithful. I'm feeling like, what if there was an app, and maybe this is a thing already, but that in the same way that Starbucks, you save up points and then you can spin your stars. What if basically every sort of business you were, I guess this is kind of like a cashback bonus on a credit card. Every business that you were faithful to, wink, wink, nudge, nudge, there's one of our keywords. Yeah, I guess this is quite literally cashback bonuses. Every business that you're faithful to, you start racking up points. They're all kept in one place. And then you earn, like, you get discounts. You shave off, I guess, a centralized loyalty program, I guess, is what I'm thinking. That is kind of feeling very Costco, Sam's Club. It is feeling very cashback bonus-y, though. So let's keep it moving. We've got size, manual, and volume now, which all kind of feel in similar veins. Manual, right now I've been building a lot of furniture, so I'm thinking about like IKEA manuals, instruction manual. Size and volume. Let's see, size and volume. The size and volume of an occasion you could think about, like occupation or occupancy. That could be helpful to, like, while you're going to an event, to know how full it is, like what's the volume and like what the relative capacity or fullness of the event is yet. Because again, I was like rushing to an event and it was scary, not scary, but it was, you know, you're anxious about knowing how full it's going to be. Is there only going to be lawn seating left? Like, what's the deal? Stuff like that for events. Or like knowing wait times. I guess we're sort of, that's a little bit open table-y, so there is an app. Maybe a centralized place that has instruction manuals for all sorts of things. I've run into that quite a bit recently. I've noticed if you buy furniture online, there were a lot of moments where I was like putting together a piece of furniture and I was worried about throwing away the instruction manual, and then kind of had a moment where I realized, hey, I can literally just look up the model number or Amazon cabinet and more than likely like a PDF of instructions will come up. So the idea of there being like a database, none of these are feeling fun or right yet. Let's go back to the initial interpretation of shave, the idea of the grooming practice. I don't know what we're going to do with an app, though. Shaving for an occasion. I will say, my boss, when we talk together about different app ideas, there are single-use apps for a bit used to be very, very prevalent when we would get in the meeting room and talk about, I don't know why I said it like that. When we would talk about new app ideas. Single-use apps were so common. And so then there were conversations I would have with them about brand identity when I wanted them to give me a better understanding of kind of what the goal is and how we can visually communicate our brand identity through our online presence. And I kind of moved towards this, well, if our niche is these sort of quirky single-use apps, like I think that is fun and worthwhile. We just need to know that's our thing, that's our niche. And so the idea of an app that we have a similar app, but for a totally different thing. So it's not similar at all, which is why I feel safe saying it online. But an app that helps you time when to shave for an occasion is kind of coming to mind. I'm someone who I have very delicate skin. I burn very easily, and we have really insane sun and heat here in Texas. And so tanning just doesn't work for me. And that's a whole school of thought. It's a can of worms about whether or not, I don't know, right? Like, I know. Rest assured, I understand that it's something to think about, and there can be discourse about tanning and whether or not fake tanning. I just want you to know I think about it and I acknowledge it, and it's not lost on me that that's like kind of a weird thing to talk. I don't know, but so that is like, I guess, something that you like want a time when you shave, right? If we'll just talk about a hypothetical person, that makes me feel better about it. If a hypothetical person was going to like get a spray tan or was going to do sunless tanning, they would want to time when they shave, right? Similarly, I feel like, and more relevantly, I probably should have leaned towards this first, but I didn't because I don't have a beard. But I'm sure people try to time when they shave for like an event correctly too. I feel like sort of stubbly beards have become very trendy. So I'm sure that is another application for this. This is feeling so crazy, like personal hygiene in a way that I feel weird talking about or coming up with an app for on live. But it is, I don't know. It's Yes and UI. It's lighthearted, whatever. I kind of think like this is the time and place for that. Let's do it. But let me see. That's like 2 words. Let's tie in some more words. Size, manual, volume. Okay. I'm going to go with occasion and shave. And because I feel like that's maybe like not... I'm only tying together 2 words from my word association. I'm going to pull up a random color palette generator, and we're going to get some of our branding cues from that. And then we're going to roll with that, and we're going to start thinking through like what an app like that would even be like. But it's this funny single-use app that I think will largely be decided who it's for. I hate that. I feel like the color palette is going to really inform the universality of this occasion shaving related app. And because I care, I am going to just include the disclaimer that I think you should groom to your own preferences and desires. I the idea of this is that you time it, you can set up, I guess, okay, that's part of talking through it. I want this app to be such that you can put in and tailor it so that like it's just helping out someone. It helps someone time something based on their own preferences as like to what makes them feel good. There's no universal rule of like, oh, it reminds you every 5 days, or like, oh, the right time to like shave is whenever, right? Okay. So that's going to be part of figuring out the UI of this. Just because I think it's like important to disclaim that There is no, I don't want to uphold like crazy traditional or, I don't know, any sort of standard for being. Because there is no one way. Have I overthought everything sufficiently enough and then verbalized it in a way that's made everyone uncomfortable? I hope so. I'm going to screen share as we get our new color palette, and I'm honestly going to break the rules a little bit because I got a glimpse of the color palette that it's given me thus far. And I guess I don't need a screen share because just take my word for it. I just randomly got this color palette from colors.co with 2 O's, and this is what we're going to work with. And it's a very easy yes and for me because I think the colors are awesome. But also, that's part of the fun. I wouldn't necessarily have come up with these on my own, I don't think. Like, I wouldn't have pulled these out of my brain just organically. I also am really excited about I feel like they're pretty gender neutral when you want to think about what our sort of traditional conceptions of gendered colors are. Also, I feel like we're at the point where I just need to call it. I just need to say it. I know that I feel like I'm trying to speak very neutrally, and then the way that I'm speaking is careful in a particular way that I feel like undoes a lot of that attempt towards intentional neutrality. So just know, like, I know I'm not doing like the best job of trying to be like neutral. I feel like you could probably pretty easily guess what I think and feel about things. So I guess I'll just acknowledge that. This is our color palette, by the way. Isn't it cute? I really like it. These are our starting words. I'm going to keep them here. And I guess I'll create another. Usually I can have them off to the side. Oh, okay. It was the color is what was keeping me from doing that. Do we feel good about this purple? I do. I think I feel good about doing the lightest purple and having those be accent colors and using some of the darkness for our text. Is just the way that I'm thinking and feeling about this particular color palette. I'm going to get a couple of these going. I feel like these colors I feel like this is a very earnest color palette. And by earnest, I mean it's like just genuinely a good, cool one. And I feel like it does fit the vibe of this being like a grooming, hygiene, single-use app. But I kind of do want to go sillier with it because I want it to be... I think it's probably just like better for it to be a sillier thing. So I want to figure out how to do that. I think a fun way to do that actually is to have a mascot, and for the mascot to be what are those like crazy looking dogs that everyone has that are like the color of, they're like copper. Not cavapoos. They're like a poodle. They're an offshoot of the poodle. A poodle mix. An offshoot is kind of a funny way to talk about a real life animal. But like those like just long haired dogs that you have to groom. Maybe like that is a funny. No, because occasion is one of our keywords. Not no. Yes. That's an idea. Let's embrace it. So this is now a dog grooming app, pretty randomly enough. Or it's a grooming app, I guess, but we're like kind of making it silly. So let Let me go to my plugins and see if I have a flat icon dog. Yeah, but do we have a poodle? No, a doodle. That's what they're called. They're doodles. Let me pull the internet over here. And I'm gonna do doodle clip art. Oh, it's gonna pull up like drawings, not golden doodle. Yeah, here we go. I don't know why, like, the idea of having a little golden doodle like mascot is sort of funny. Oh, wait, I found, like, that's cute. What am I thinking, though? Like, how many apps have a mascot? Okay, I'm gonna try my hand at just drawing one. I wish there was an easier way to draw, though. Okay, here's actually how I'm gonna do this, because I feel like part of the whole reason that I do this is also to show y'all, to just sort of demonstrate ways of doing things in the UI world. And the way that I feel like if we were actually working through this as an app that was going to be developed ever, is that I would probably draw things in Illustrator and then copy and paste them over. So I'm going to do it that way. Let me move my color palette over here so that I know what color I want to use. I have Adobe Illustrator. I'm not going to screen share that. I'm just going to try and be kind of quick. But I'll narrate what I'm doing. Where did it go? Okay. So I've got my color palette copied. I have like the beginning of a golden doodle head drawn. Whoa. Just unlocked a new feature on Adobe Illustrator that I've never run into before, where I tried to use a color dropper. Wow. I tried to use the eyedropper to get a color, and because it's an image, it like instead just took the whole image. Wow, that's really crazy. I've never run into that before. I wonder if I can do... Wow. I wonder why. Is it because I copied and pasted it as an asset, or is this a new feature? Is it any image? Let me drag and drop the screenshot in and see if it works differently. Okay, so I dragged and dropped a screenshot in instead of copying and pasting the asset from... Asset. I've been overthinking how I say that word recently too on these live streams. Okay, so I copied and pasted. So it was something to do with XD, the fact that I copied and pasted it from XD, because when I just put it, dragged and dropped in the screenshot of the color palette, it didn't do it. So that's actually so interesting. Maybe not to you, but that will actually pretty drastically inform how I do things. Okay. And then I'm going to draw a nose. And then swirly, swirly, swirly. The puppy dog ears. Boom. All right. Y'all ready to see it? It's like not the best. It's not. I don't know. Is it kind of cute though? What do we think? I'm trying to add a drop shadow, trying to make it. Should I do something kind of... No. I was trying to be artful with it, and it did not work. Okay, so this is our, like, little dog that we have. It's our mascot. And then let's just do, like, a fun... So this is going to remind you when to shave. It's going to be a countdown for, like, grooming. Trim, groom, shave. Okay, now that I'm looking back at the words, shave, occasion, size. The word size is standing out to me. Because I'm now deciding that, like, let's get even crazier. Let's be even more silly single-use app with it. And how about you enter the size of your dog and it sets a timer or a countdown on your phone. I like this so much more. Actually, it's way more generic and it becomes completely separate from all of the disclaimers I gave about personal grooming and hygiene. And it feels weird to talk about it at work and all of the annoyingness that I just... felt obligated to acknowledge just because it was weighing heavy on my heart. It feels like we're no longer thinking about things in that way. So now this is an app where you enter the size of your animal and it helps you determine and create a countdown for when to groom the animal. Cute, right? And what do we call that? And I'm like selecting this because I want to make the nose a different, I feel like a more circular nose would have been. Right, all right. So let's undo that, I guess. Okay. What if we gave it eyes? Yeah, I think the eyes actually are going to help. Oh, what if we made it like a dog ears joke? No, the eyes did help, didn't they? Maybe we just need them to be smaller. Oh man. You guys. I think we've really done it now. There we go. Okay. So this is our little animal. I don't know why I always decide to. Well, I do know why. I really like branding. Even when it's silly and stupid and not that cute, I like to think about it and spend time on it. So I always do a launch screen first, even though it's not necessarily the smartest first thing to do. So we're going to call it dog years because it has to do with time and the subject matter. And I kind of think what if we were cutesy about it? What if we did it like doggy and ears? Because it is a grooming app. So it's dog ears, but it's spelled on the wrong line. Didn't I say last week too that I've been dying to do a two line. Yeah, see, I do it with Rolly. I do it with Rough. I don't know why. I think that's like, I love a line break for no reason. Okay, but so this is our little app. Okay, that's our launch screen. Doggy ears. Isn't she cute? Isn't she clever? And then let's do this. Another thing I like stylistically is inverting things. So I think the interface is going to be this with this text, but the logo screen is this with this text. You can see my mouse, right? I'm not just speaking gibberish. Okay, so fun. So that's our launch screen. Spent way too long on it. Forgive me. But now here we're going to do this. And like I just said, we're inverting it. We're going to put that in the top corner. I do that all the time too, as a means of just sort of there being... Generally, you tap this, and it would take you to like your home screen or whatever. That's the way I tend to think about it, which isn't necessarily the best UI choice. But so if I'm thinking about this app, I'm thinking, okay, I just got this dog. It's my first time ever having... I'm speaking hypotheticals now. But I could talk in real life. My sister just got a dog, and we've had short-haired dogs our whole lives. But she has a dog now that has to like get groomed. Like she has a long-haired dog that has to be trimmed and stuff. And so I'm thinking like, oh my gosh, like how often do you take your dog to get the hair trimmed? Like, this is who that's for. This is solving that person's problem, where you log in and it's probably going to ask you dog breed. Select dog breed, and it's going to be a drop down is what we need. So let's do this, and I'm gonna do, I feel like we're doing Squoval is the vibe. This is a Squoval brand. And we'll do our drop downs also in this purple, but we'll do the darker purple, and we'll do this blue because we haven't touched the blues yet. How long have we been live streaming? How long have I been going on about this? 34 minutes. Let's try and power through this. Drop shadow. So first thing, you select your dog breed. Or maybe this is a situation where you can share your camera and we'll scan your dog and tell you. That's another thing about Yes and UI. We get to live in make-believe world where I can just come up with things that are possibilities. Because I'm not a developer. I'm a dreamer. Okay, so you select your dog breed, or let me just like do a quick camera. How's that? So let's do this. Can you believe it? I feel like this camera will look better if I have just one more little circle in there. That is right. Yeah. Now I'll group it and resize it. Select dog breed, or let's do this and this. There we go. So now it matches the vibe. Select dog breed, or choose image. Or I'll say scan from image. Do you think that's another thing? Sometimes, not sometimes, it's important to choose language that helps communicate like what we mean. So in this situation, I mean, like, you should be able to go to your camera roll or open up a picture and choose an image of your animal, and then the app will sort of like diagnose it, like be like, or at a minimum, not necessarily tell you, oh, you have a cavapoo, right? That's kind of a level of complexity I don't care for. But at a minimum, it will sort of get a sense of how big your dog is, and how, like, whether or not it's long haired. So in my mind, we could do scan from image, and we want that to be first. So if you don't want to dilly-dally with all of these things, you don't have to. And then we'll do, or you can select your dog breed, choose coat length, and enter weight. I think if you enter the weight of that should kind of give us a good sense of what kind of size your animal is, right? And then we'll say scan from image, or and I don't know why I feel like that makes me feel better. Okay. And then part of this would be, if I was doing this full out, and we were actually going to develop it, I would go in and actually make the drop downs. It's pretty easy. If you have longer than like maybe an hour on live stream to do this, but since I don't, I'm not going to actually design the drop downs. But so from here, once you have your pet profile set up, in my mind, you can add another pet profile, because maybe I have a whole bunch of animals that I need to take to the vet or take to the groomer. So once you have a pet profile in, I guess we have, where's that plum color? Let's take this plum and we'll put the little, it's so cute. So there's one pet profile. And then we'll have the pet's name. And then I'm gonna do a squoval situation. And it's going to be no fill, outline it, drop shadow. Let's do thicker outline. So this is our pet profile for Dennis. And he needs to be groomed. Let's say 21 days left till next spa session. I don't like the idea of having an app with animal photos and it says 21 days left. That's what I'm working through right now. I don't think any pet owner will like that. So I do want it to say like till next grooming appointment or something. But then now we're dealing with interface issues. Or like now we're dealing with, we're being more verbose for no reason, kind of, other than I genuinely don't think anyone wants to see a screen that has pictures of all their pets. So maybe just 21 days. So maybe that's how we be concise. And it means that it's 21 days till your next appointment. And then maybe there's fine print that says 21 more days until Dennis needs to go to his next grooming appointment. Right now, what I'm dealing with, why I just changed those colors, is I feel like I don't like the look of that blue on this purple. What if we did darker? No, that's so much harder to read. I guess we'll keep that, but I just think that these two colors together is so much prettier. And then we'll have add new pet profile. I think this little font is pretty cute. New pet profile. Or we'll say add a pet. Because now this text is comparable in size. And this looks better. And we could go full funny, cutesy, single-use app on this. And it could say, add a fur baby. We could be just totally silly with it. 21 days, add a pet. And then let's go ahead and figure out, so let's say we added a pet. Our home screen is just ever evolving like this. So we have 21 days. And then maybe we have multiple little animal icons. That's what I would like to do. So then you have one that like looks a little bit shorter haired, and so maybe this one gets groomed every 10 days. And then I like the idea of part of this app's functionality being that it finds the best in between, so that you can set your preferences for whether or not you like taking your animals to the groomer on the same day, or if it's smarter to stagger them. And then in my mind, this app like helps you do that. And then I think there's also probably a calendar that helps you book it. And then I think we're also affiliated with like all the local groomers, because why not, you know? So then let's add a little calendar. You can see my previous Yes and UI apps that I did, that I just stole a calendar from. I have to say, these calendars are the most annoying things to change and alter. What font is this? It's called HVD Poster. I'm only going to change the month to HVD Poster so that we fit with the vibe a little bit more. We're going to go with that deep purple. And then something about it, I feel like we're abbreviating the year. I feel like that's the vibe. And then I want to ungroup. Ungrouping it is going to make it easier for me to change the colors of things. Let's go ahead and make it blue, I guess. And then what is today's the 18th? I know it's not April 18th, but like let's just vibe as though it is. And where's my other color? Because I haven't done anything with the darker. So we'll say that this shows you time gone by. Cute. And then we'll stick with, what if we do the dark purple? Dark purple. How's that look? Frankly, not the best. Isn't this like so, it's giving pet for sure. Let's change these just for the sake of them being more legible. I don't know why I'm doing what I'm doing. I guess we'll do this. It's the color. Okay, there we go. And then I don't like this row being purple, if I'm being totally honest. Let's make these the same color. And then let's make these the same font. And then we'll make them. Okay, cute. So then your next appointment, let's take Dennis and put him on the calendar. And Dennis is going to get groomed on the 26th, I guess. And then let's just go ahead and say that Pepper is going to be our other silly little dog name. And we will do the reverse. And then look. Now we can have them both on the calendar. Pepper went on the 9th. How about that? So, is this groundbreaking? Is this brilliant? Is this feasible? Maybe not, but we're just going to say yes and. That's all we have time for today, so I'm going to wrap it up. But thank you for tuning in. I will see you Friday for New Music Friday. That will be the next live stream we have. We will be out of office tomorrow. That's all. I will talk to y'all later. I hope you enjoyed this week's episode of Yes and UI. That's it. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter and TikTok at Driven Catalyst, at Driven_Catalyst maybe. You'll see our logo. That's us. And I will talk to y'all later. Goodbye.